This is actually the second Kinformation student session that we've run, and really it's because there's a lot of things that are going on within the school that we are excited to share and help you prepare for next year and the years to come. So just a quick overview. I'll introduce you to our student services team, those who are here to support you and guide you throughout your journey and time in the BKIN program. Talk about the resources, the supports that are here for you. For those of you in first and second year, we'll talk a bit about the stream options, why we've broken down our program the way we have. The real focus for this presentation tonight, though, is to talk about all the new opportunities that are coming. We have a variety of new courses that sometimes get buried within everything on the Student Information Service Center. So we want to highlight what those new course options are, talk about our guided learning independent opportunities, work integrated learning, which is new to the BKIN program this year, some engagement opportunities that are available to you, and then again, we'll open up for questions and answers so that you can plan for next year and the years to come. I guess I should introduce myself since you may or may not know who I am. My name is Paul Kennedy. I am an associate professor of teaching here in the School of Kinesiology. I'm also the associate director of undergraduate affairs. My job is to work with advising and engagement to make sure that you are supported along your educational journey. Joining me here today, we have Adam, which is our manager of the undergraduate program and advising office. You might have met Deb, who is one of our associate academic advisors. Chanel is another one of our associate academic advisors here in the room. Jessica and Robert are also academic advisors. Robert also specializes to work with our Indigenous students. Lana is our student support assistant, and we have Emily is our student engagement officer. If you have any questions about courses, programming, supports, resources, or simply want to get involved, I encourage you to reach out to any one of us who are on the team. We will direct you to where you need to go or answer those questions if we can. All right, let's talk a little bit about our BKIN program and how we put it together. To some, kinesiology is a science. To others, it's an art. In the School of Kinesiology, it's a bit of both. We've built our program so that you can study the physiological, psychological, and sociological dimensions of human movement. I like to say that you study human movement from the cellular to the societal level. Our goal is to give you a broad introduction to the field so that you can choose to specialize if you want. You can specialize within the neuromechanical or physiological area. You can specialize within the social and behavioral area. Or if you're not sure where you want to go, we give you the option to choose amongst all those fields within our multidisciplinary science option. There's a reason why we've numbered our courses. And maybe you've noticed this, maybe not. Is KIN 120 and 320 related to one another? Is there really a course called 420? Yes, I giggle every time I think about that one. If you're in the neuromechanical and physiological stream, or that's where you like to go, well, then you're going to be choosing courses that end with lower numbers. Our neuromechanical courses are numbered between 10 and 19. Our systems biology courses are labeled between 20 and 39. If you fall more on the social and behavioral side, our leadership or physical education classes, those end in 40 and 49. Psychology of movement, those courses end with numbers with 50 to 59. Our sociocultural studies courses end with numbers between 60 and 69. We have a bunch of seminars. We label them in the 80s. And then we have our guided independent learning opportunities. Those courses are labeled in the 90s. This is there to help you so that when you're in your streams and you're trying to pick through courses, then you can go to a particular area and to choose. If you're in multidisciplinary science, you'll be choosing from all of those different categories. So there is a rhyme and reason to why our courses are coded the way they are, and hopefully you find this easier when choosing through all of those options. The big thing is, if you have any questions, I highly encourage you to reach out to our undergraduate advising team. They can help you with registration, course planning. If you're preparing for graduation, make sure you've met all your degree requirements. If you're having trouble choosing a stream, or for those of you who are already in a stream and you want to move to another stream, which is completely easy to do, you can always talk with KIN Advising, and they will make sure that you are on track so that you can graduate in a timely manner. If you need resources, if you need support, that's what KIN Advising is there to help you with. There is no such thing as a stupid question. The only thing that frustrates us is when you don't ask those questions. So when any issue comes up, no matter how big, no matter how small, please reach out. Our job is to help you address those questions. So please reach out sooner rather than later. One of the big questions that students have is, how do we choose a stream? What courses do we need to take within those streams? We have 3 options. As I talked about earlier, we have our neuromechanical and physiological sciences side. We have our social behavioral and multidisciplinary. Streams are a way to help you guide through those upper level options. Streams are not majors. You don't need to apply to get into one. You simply choose the one you want to get into and away you go. If you want to change those streams, that's also really easy to do. It's just a matter of changing different courses. But best to reach out to advising. They'll help you plan all of that so it doesn't affect your ability to graduate in a timely manner. Often students think, oh, if I want to go into medical school or PT or OT, I have to be in one stream. If I want to go off into health promotion or education, I need to go into another stream. Absolutely not. The streams are flexible enough in terms of the courses that you can take. You can go into any postgraduate program from any of those streams. You can navigate into any career path from any of those streams. The streams are ultimately about helping you choose which courses you want to take based on your area of interest. So don't feel any pressure that one stream means a certain path over another. It's all about what interests you, both personally and professionally. Our hope is that our streams are flexible enough so that you can explore between all the courses that we have in years 3 and 4. One of the tools that our advisors use that we put on the advising website are these program planning sheets. You can find one for each one of the 3 stream options, and it just tells you, here's a space where I can write down which are my KIN required courses, which are my KIN electives. And so if you have any questions about where you want to go, what you need to do, download one of these program planning sheets, make an appointment with one of our advising team members, and they can help you navigate that stream option. Keep in mind that there's over 32 BKIN courses at the 300 and 400 level. That can be overwhelming to choose between all of those. Oh, and by the way, this is just a secret between you and me that are in this. We're going to add more courses next year, so that number is going to grow. So if you're overwhelmed by all those options, the streams just help you narrow down those choices so it seems a little bit manageable to deal with. Streams do not appear on your parchment. When you graduate, you all graduate with a Bachelor in Kinesiology. The streams will appear on your transcript, but again, it doesn't define where you want to go. You have complete option and flexibility to pursue any path you want, regardless of what stream you happen to be in. And you, again, as I've said before, you're not locked into a stream. So if you're unhappy with the decision and want to make a different choice, by all means, talk with KIN Advising, and that option will be available to you. Key thing to remember is that there are stream requirements. Every one of our streams requires you to choose 7 courses. If you're in neuromechanical and physiological sciences, you'll take 7 courses out of a list of 15. Those courses will be numbered between 10 and 39. Once you've taken those stream requirements, then you will take 5 elective options. Those electives can come from anywhere within the KIN program. So those 5 elective courses that you take in kinesiology, they can come from the neuromechanical and physiological area, or they could come from the social and behavioral sciences area. If you're on the other side of the coin and you're in the social behavioral sciences, you'll take 7 required KIN courses. This will now come from a list of 17 courses that are numbered between 40 and 69. Then you'll take your 5 kin electives. Those courses can come from anywhere. So again, they can stay within the social behavioral, or they can branch over to the neuromechanical and physiological sciences. So really the only difference between those two streams is 2 courses. The one stream that has a little bit more requirements, or you need to pay a little bit more attention to your course selection, is multidisciplinary science. This is the stream where you're going to take a little bit of everything, where you're going to specialize not in an area, but you're going to take courses from all the different areas within the school. We offer 5 different areas of specialization within our program: neuromechanics, systems biology, sociocultural studies, leadership education, and psychology of movement. If you're in the multidisciplinary science stream, you will take 2 courses from 3 of those different areas, and then you'll take 1 course from the remaining area. Again, that's your 7 required. Once you've met those requirements, then you can take 5 BKIN courses at the 300 or 400 level, and they can come from any of those areas of specialization, whatever it is you happen to be interested in. If you have any questions about any of that stream stuff, please go and talk to one of our kin advisors. They'll help you navigate all of that. Now, here's the stuff that I want to get into, and this is the new course options that we have available coming to us next year. Actually really excited about this stuff because it's been a long time in planning. First thing before I jump into this, whenever you look and see a new course, they're always labeled under a seminar. Advanced seminars in. So you're going to see a whole bunch of labels here that say advanced seminar in and a particular area of specialization. But then below that, you're going to see what the working title is. So right before registration, I'm going to send you all an email, and that email will have a little bit more detail about this. So you'll see 482A, B, C, D that will then list which one of these seminars is tied to which specific course, okay? So new courses offered as 480 new seminars. We're really excited to be adding Dr. Joseph Kim to the School of Kinesiology. He comes to us by way of the United States. He's an expert in the field of computational neurobiology. His specialty is looking for patterns in data. He's a programming data science specialist, and he's there to look for patterns within neurological or biological data to help tease out what all of those connections mean, those data points mean. And so he's going to be developing 2 new courses that will allow you to explore how we make sense of research data. So the first new course we're going to be offering next year is going to be called Programming and Data Science. It's going to be offered in term 1. Through a combination of tutorials, problem sets, and a final project, students will learn some of the most important tools and techniques in data science ecosystem. Students will learn how to think algorithmically in order to process, visualize, and analyze data related to all types of research questions. This course will provide a solid foundation in core computing and data science skills that will serve them whether they're going into graduate school, industry, healthcare, or another technical field. So for those students that are in the neuromechanical and physiological science field, you might find this course really appealing, as it will help you make sense of all those data points that you're talking about in different courses in your stream. Dr. Kim is going to be offering a second class offered in term 2. This one's going to be called Computational Modeling of Sensory Motor Control and Learning. Again, when you see this on the Student Information Service Center next year, it'll be listed as a 482, and then we'll give it an A and a B heading. Again, I will send you all an email out right prior to registration so that you know which section will be found where. So this particular course will use computational modeling, which is at the heart of most of our advances in the fundamental understanding of human movement. The course begins by discussing the advantages and limitations of modeling, and then proceeds to systematically cover the foundational elements of modeling human behavior. The goal is for students not only to come away with an understanding of these goals and techniques of modeling, but to also feel confident applying these techniques to their own questions. So if you're interested in graduate school, medical school, postgraduate in a health profession, or you're looking to work in industry, having this skill set will be really important. Maybe you might be looking forward to taking this course with Dr. Kim. Dr. Tanya Lam, maybe you took KIN 131 with her, is going to be offering a new seminar. Again, it'll be listed as a KIN 482 Advanced Seminar Neuromechanics, but the working title is going to be Sensory Motor Plasticity in Movement and Exercise. This course is also going to be offered in Term 1. In this course, we'll study concepts in neuroplasticity related to sensory motor control. Students will gain a broad perspective of plasticity in the neuromuscular system, from cellular and synaptic modifications underlying plasticity to system-level adaptations using examples from animal and human studies. The focus will be on plasticity, both adaptive and maladaptive, that arises as a result of either training or injury, non-use as it relates to movement control and recovery after neurotrauma. Then if we move over to the social and behavioral science side of things, we have a few new courses coming in the area of psychology of movement. You'll see a new 486 advanced seminar in psychology of movement, and the working title for this course will be current issues in exercise and health psychology. This particular course is going to be offered in Term 1 and delivered by Dr. Mark Beauchamp. This course will provide an overview of the psychological factors associated with physical activity, exercise behavior, and health promotion. Emphasis will be placed on concepts, principles, and theories, and how these may be translated to the practice of promoting and supporting recommended physical activity for individuals and population groups. Particular attention will be directed at contemporary issues, controversies, myths, presumptions, and misguided practice, evidence-informed initiatives, and innovative new approaches. Oh, and I should point out that when Dr. Beauchamp informed me about this course, he highlighted that it will be awesome, and I have no doubt. Dr. Erica Bennett will be offering a new seminar in the psychology of movement. This one is going to be called Inclusive Approaches to Sports Psychology. This new section is also going to be offered in Term 1. And for those of you that I see taking down notes, this is going to be, this video, you can take notes by all means. This video is going to be uploaded to our KIN Advising website. You'll get an email about this. And if anyone has any questions, you can always email me. I'm always happy to answer any of those questions. So this course will examine psychological and behavioral processes in sport, as well as athlete mental health and well-being from cultural studies and social justice perspectives. We will focus on the role of social structures, sociocultural norms, power relations, and social identities, including sex and gender, sexuality, race, disability, and socioeconomic status in shaping and constraining athletes' psychological processes and mental health and well-being. The aim will be to attend to the diversity and culture in sports psychology. Another new individual who will be joining our faculty, who has actually technically already joined our faculty this past February, is Dr. Desmond McEwen. Dr. McEwen was actually a graduate of our program here, has been working in the UK, and we're thrilled that he is joining the School of Kinesiology. Dr. McEwen is going to be offering a new advanced seminar in the psychology of movement, and it's going to be titled The Psychology of Team Dynamics. This course is going to be offered in Term 2. Within sport and other contexts that demand high performance, humans work together as part of teams. What makes teams effective? Why do some teams flourish but others flounder? Are there strategies that can be used to develop better teams? Covering a range of interpersonal and group level constructs, this course is designed to provide students with an opportunity to answer these types of questions. Students can apply this knowledge gained from this course to future experiences in sport and other contexts in which they'll be part of teams, such as within the workplace. So if you're interested in the psychology of movement, if you're interested in working in a healthcare setting, or if you're interested in working in any setting where you can be part of a team, learning about team dynamics from Dr. McEwen may be the way to go. So again, these course options are going to be available this coming year. We're really excited to be adding these new courses. You're going to see them all listed as advanced seminars. They'll be listed as under different headings. And when you click on the titles of each one of these courses, the instructors' names will be there. If you have any questions about these courses, want to know more, I absolutely encourage you to reach out to the instructors. They'd be happy to address any questions you might have. Or if you have any questions about registering for these courses, please reach out to KIN Advising and they can guide you through the process. But roughly about a week or two before registration, you'll get an email blast from me that will then highlight these new courses that are coming to the BKIN schedule next year. One of the things that we added to our program a few years back that a lot of students, when they bump into me in the hallways, I don't really know that much about them, are our guided independent learning opportunities. This is KIN 490 and 492. So I want to talk a little bit about what these exciting courses are and how you get involved in them. KIN 490 and 492 give you the opportunity to work directly with a KIN faculty member, to answer a question, to work on a project, to gain an experience about something that you happen to be interested in. The difference is one's a 3-credit, 1-term opportunity. The other is a 2-term, 6-credit opportunity. So KIN 490, 3 credits, it's called Directed Studies in Kinesiology. Have you ever finished a course, you've had a question that's like just in the back of your mind that you just didn't get the answer to? Maybe you can find the answer to that question through this directed studies. You'll explore a topic of interest under the supervision of a KIN faculty member. This is open to all KIN students in years 3 or 4. What you do in a KIN 490 is you investigate a question, you go on a fieldwork experience, you work out in the community, you try to gather knowledge that allows you to try to answer that question. You work one-on-one with this faculty member, and through meetings, through some independent research, you try to develop, excuse me, you try to develop a literature review where you've gathered this information that tries to, or allows you to try to answer that question to the best of your ability. A 490 could involve research, but it doesn't have to. There may be a fieldwork component to it, but once again, that's not required. This is for those of you who are interested in exploring some of the concepts that you study in your classes, maybe a little bit further, under the supervision of a faculty member. Again, it's a 1-term, 3-credit experience, and it gives you the opportunity to engage directly with one of our faculty members. For those of you who want something maybe a little bit more intensive that maybe does involve research, we have our 492 6-credit experience that's called Undergraduate Research Experience in Kinesiology. Again, you'll work directly with a KIN faculty member, and this is also open to 3rd and 4th year KIN students. Now, there's a typo on there. This is not a 490, this is a 492. Similar to a 490, you will work directly with a KIN faculty member on a question of interest. However, there's a little bit more time commitment. You're working over 2 terms, and the 492 requires you to be a part of a research study. You'll collect data within a lab setting, or conduct qualitative or quantitative research. You'll go through, you'll analyze the data, and then when you're done, you'll write up a report that summarizes your findings. So unlike the 490, now you're actually producing a finished research project. But again, it allows you to work under the supervision of a KIN faculty member to explore a question or an area that you happen to be interested in. So when we look at these 2 experiences, we have our 3-credit experience, the directed studies, our 6-credit experience, the research experience. If you're doing a directed studies, you're putting in about 120 hours of total work. That's the time spent meeting with the faculty member, conducting your own independent research, and working on the paper itself. You can do a maximum of 2 of these experiences. So you can do a 490A and a 490B. If you choose to do more than one, you have to do them with 2 different faculty members. You cannot complete both projects with the same individual. If you complete a 490, it counts as a KIN elective. It is not a stream option. For those of you that want to participate in the research experience, again, this is 6 credits over 2 terms, and you're completing double the amount of work, 240 hours. Again, that time is the time spent in the lab doing the data analysis, the data collection, the write-up, meeting with your faculty member, etc. You can do a maximum of 9 credits of these guided learning independent opportunities. So if you do 1 6-credit experience, then you can only do 1 3-credit experience. You can, however, do the 490 and a 492 with the same individual, but the projects have to be different. The question that you ask for the 490 has to be different from the question you study in the 492. And again, the 492 will count as a kin elective. One of the things that I did before before I jump into there. So again, I talked a little bit about the types of projects here. With a 490, you might be putting together a literature review, you might be participating in a field work or a community project that you're writing up about, or it could just simply be you're designing a study, but not actually conducting the data analysis or the data collection itself. In a 492, you're actually involved in either qualitative, quantitative, or some sort of mixed method study. One of the things that I did when putting together this presentation was I asked, how do students actually find someone to work with? You go and ask them. Faculty members actually love to talk. Actually, but just between you and I, the one thing faculty members love to do is talk about their research. And so there are many ways that you can sort of start those conversations up. First off, if any graduate students or faculty members are looking for volunteers for a research study, that's always a good way to start meeting them outside of a classroom or laboratory experience, sitting down and just chatting and see where your interests lie. You can talk to teaching assistants, and sometimes they can tell you, hey, yeah, there are some opportunities in the lab. Maybe I can come and introduce you to my supervisor. The other thing is, talk to your instructors. The instructors that you're in class with, go to their office hours. If you have a laboratory with them, meet them after the lab and just chat with them, tell them what you're interested in, chat with them, and see if there's that connection. But virtually everyone that I talked with, when they said, if students want to know if we have any opportunities or if there's any way, just come and talk to me. I actually really want to engage. Faculty members love to talk about their research. So yes, please. And if you have any questions about the 490s or 492s, you can also reach out to me directly and I'm happy to assist you. If you're curious about who does what, go to the school's website. Under faculty, there are faculty profiles for every one of our faculty members. You can find out who's involved in what areas, what sort of papers they're publishing, and then that's a good way to learn about what's going on. Sometimes faculty members, well, it helps if you like the research that they do, but don't feel that you have to have the research question. So don't go up to a faculty member and say, hey, I'm really interested in science. The research question I want to ask is, because maybe the faculty member actually doesn't have the capacity to answer that question in their lab setting. Really, faculty members are looking for people who are enthusiastic and work well in a team setting. We do offer summer work, learn, or volunteer opportunities. That's a great way to get to know some of our faculty members. And often instructors do like to work with students that have taken their courses, so then that way they know that they're at least versed in the area, and it becomes easier to build off of that. Faculty members are not looking for you to attain certain marks, so there is no grade point entry that you need in order to qualify for a 490 or 492. They're simply looking for hardworking students that will commit to the time. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about another new exciting group of courses that have come to the BKIN program, which we call Work Integrated Learning. Work Integrated Learning is new to the BKIN. It came in this past year, and we're excited to grow the opportunities for you for next year. Let me just spend a few minutes telling you about what Work Integrated Learning is before I actually jump into the courses themselves. Excuse me. Work Integrated Learning is an academic course which counts for credit. So these will be kin elective courses that will go on your transcript. These courses are tied to a community learning experience. They tie your coursework to an activity. That activity can be research, internship, fieldwork, community service learning, or potentially a work opportunity. These courses will have an academic component, which will involve class meetings and assessments. But Work Integrated Learning is not an opportunity to get credit for work that you're doing already in the community. So you're not getting credit for volunteer work that you've already done. You're part of an academic experience that is connected to some sort of fieldwork option. In these work integrated learning courses, you'll have an experience. We'll ask you to reflect on that, provide some sort of critical analysis, and then we'll ask you to connect that experience to the courses that you are taking so that these community learning experiences are tied to your academic experience in the BKIN program. Our hope is that you form relationships and you learn about these important professional interpersonal relationships that exist in these settings, and that you develop a skill set that you can take wherever it is you go after graduation from the BKIN. These work integrated learning courses, because they involve a fieldwork type component, there will be some added time spent in them. So if you're doing a 3-credit course, the total course hours will be about 105 for the term, or roughly 4 hours a week. If you're doing a 6-credit experience, you're going to be putting in about 210 term hours, or 8 hours per week. And if you're doing a 9-credit experience, then you're doing about 315 hours, or 24 hours per week. These experiences can be drawn over 1 term or 2, and then if it's drawn over 2 terms, then that hourly commitment per week will go down. Work integrated learning courses will have 3 components to them that make up these total hours. So there's the actual time that you spend in the work integrated or the work experience. Then there are reflection hours. So when you're done the work experience, we ask you to go home and write in a journal. There will be guided questions so that ask you to reflect on the experience and connect it to these larger questions so that you're not passively going through these experiences, but that you're thinking about what it is you're doing and what that actually means. And then some of that time will be spent during the meetings. These meetings might be once every couple of weeks or once a month, depending upon how your work integrated learning experience is structured. Work integrated learning courses will not be graded, or at least you will not receive a grade at the end, because it's really hard to mark the work that you're doing in a community setting. So these courses will be pass-fail. This is not credit D-fail. So credit D-fail is the option that you take when you're experimenting in a course where you're not sure whether you'll do well or not. And so in credit D-fail, you choose credit, you take tests, but your final mark is hidden. That's not this. You will either receive a pass standing or a fail standing, depending upon how well you engage in the experience. And so there may be assessments in your work integrated learning course. If there are assessments, then you're expected to achieve a grade of 70% or higher on those assessments. And then if you do, you'll receive credit for that experience. Okay. So there is no option to receive a grade in these courses. There is a limit to how many credits, work integrated learning credits, a BKIN student can take. And this is just because we want to maximize the number of opportunities available to students. Also, since these courses are pass-fail, by limiting how many credits you can take, it will ensure that there's minimal effect on your graduating average. So what this means is you're allowed to take a maximum of 2 work integrated learning courses, not to exceed 9 credits. So you could take a 3-credit work integrated learning course and a 6-credit learning course. Or you can take 1 work integrated learning course if the credit total is 9 credits or more. So we happen to have 2 work integrated learning courses that have the potential for 9 credits. You can take 1 of those, or you could take 2 courses that total up to 9 credits. Once you reach that limit, that's it. You're not eligible for another experience. And again, this is just to maximize the opportunity available to all BKIN students. Because we have limited seating in our work integrated learning courses, you will have to apply to these courses. Now, how we accept you into the course, do not worry, this is not based on grades. All you need to have is a sessional average of 60% or greater and have failed no more than 6 credits. That means that you are in good standing. That means you are eligible to apply for a work integrated learning course. Instructors will have an application. Those applications will be based on the skill. They're looking for the skills that you'll need to be successful in a certain experience. They'll ask you to answer a bunch of questions. Then they'll use your application to select students for the course. I apologize, there's a typo on my slide here. So I fixed everything except this one slide. This year, so you're actually going to get an email from me next week. Next week, I'm going to say, hey, here are all the work integrated learning courses that are available for next year. And we're going to open that application up mid-April. So instead of applying in July, this year you're actually going to apply before registration. You'll see what work integrated learning options are available. You'll see when those courses meet. You'll apply to the course. You'll find out right before registration. Then you can either accept that spot or not. Once you accept that spot, then you can then open up registration and pick courses that don't conflict with your work integrated learning class. Okay, so again, this is all based on a questionnaire that will be available to you. You'll get that information out to you next week, and then you can apply to any of these work integrated learning courses, and you'll find out before registration. So let's talk about the work integrated learning courses that are available to you for this coming year. So we have, and it's going to be labeled as a 482 advanced seminar again, but the working title will be Exercise Management of Chronic Neurological Balance and Mobility Conditions. This is going to be a 3-credit, 1-term experience. It's going to be available to students in term 1. It's also going to be available to students in term 2. It's going to be open to students in years 3 or 4. While we would encourage you to take courses in neuroanatomy or exercise prescription, it's not required for you. But having a background in exercise instruction or human neuroanatomy or neurophysiology would be beneficial because you have the opportunity to work with an interprofessional health team to assess and rehabilitate neurological balance and mobility deficits using evidence-based group and individualized exercise programming. Dr. Mark Carpenter is going to facilitate this section. He'll have between 6 or 8 students in each section. So again, there'll be a 3-credit experience available in term 1, a 3-credit experience available in term 2. So a little bit more about this experience. You're going to work collaboratively with the physical therapy students and supervising clinicians within the UBC Physical Therapy and Research Clinic to perform balance and mobility assessments and implement exercise programs such as fitness and mobility exercise program for people recovering from stroke. Some students will also be working with a brain wellness program offered through the Center for Brain Health to provide clinically relevant exercise programming, both online and in person, for people with chronic brain conditions such as Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Huntington's disease, dystonia, and with their caregivers and healthy agers to promote mobility and brain health. We're going to have another work integrated learning experience offered as an advanced seminar in neuromechanics. This one is going to be a 9-credit experience, and it's titled Undergraduate Research Experience in Neuromechanics. Again, it's going to be open to students in year 3 and 4, and it's going to be facilitated by Dr. Jean-Sébastien Blouin. Maybe you're thinking 490, 492, kind of curious about that, but I'm not sure if it's for me. What this research experience is going to allow you to do is see research from all angles. You are going to participate, be part of a research team. You're going to be involved in the ethics formation, the design of a research question, the data collection. But the real element behind this is learning how to communicate from a scientific perspective. So for those students who are interested in neuromechanical research, you're going to need to have a neuromechanical exposure. So you don't have to have these courses going in, but you should be at least taking 2 of these courses if you get into this experience, so that you just have the necessary information to be successful in this course. So again, it's going to be a 9 credit term experience, and you're going to learn diverse research methods, computational skills, and virtual environments related to neuromechanics research and kinesiology. You're going to assist with all aspects of the research project, including ethics applications, amendments, recruitment of participants, data collection, and data analysis. For those of you who are thinking you want to conduct your own study in a 492, this might be a great way to start and make some connection to learn more about what's available to you. And to complement the practical research experience, students will learn these principles underlying scientific communication and apply these principles in the form of an oral dissemination of scientific results at a local conference at the end of the term. Now we're going to switch from neuromechanics into the area of systems biology. We have a work integrated learning experience that's going to be offered over 2 terms. And you have the option to either have this as a 6 or a 9 credit experience. This particular experience is going to be facilitated by Dr. Bushel. It's the opportunity to engage with a team around exercise programming for individuals dealing with chronic health issues. So you're going to work with you're going to work with a team-based interprofessional primary care setting to implement exercise prescription and programming as a cornerstone of chronic disease prevention and health promotion on individuals dealing with chronic health issues. It's going to be open to students in year 3 and 4. You're going to get knowledge and practical skills on screening and safety protocols that are used in a primary care setting, get expertise in programming and one-on-one and group exercise instruction on patients with a variety of abilities and health statuses. And you're going to develop education resources to assist patients with lifestyle change to improve health. And again, it's going to be a 6 or 9 credit experience offered over 2 terms, and this is open to students in years 3 and 4. The next one that we have is going to be listed as a 488. So what you'll see on your transcript will be Advanced Seminar in Interdisciplinary Research in Kinesiology, but the working title for this one is Physical Activity Counseling and Prescription for People with Spinal Cord Injury. It's going to be open to students in years 3 and 4. In this one, either having had or currently taking KIN 320 and KIN 341. The course will be facilitated by Dr. Jasmine Ma, and you'll get hands-on experience working with members of the Yule Family Physical Activity Research Center at the Blouson Spinal Cord Center in Vancouver. It's going to be open to about 10 students, 6 credits offered over 2 terms. So PARC provides accessible physical activity opportunities for members of the local spinal cord injury community, including drop-in gym hours and exercise classes, both in person and online. Students in this course will apply skills in exercise testing, prescription, and physical activity counseling as an opportunity for students and PARC members to learn reciprocally from one another. The long-term aim is for students to leave the program demonstrating confidence and competence to work with people with disabilities in their future careers and beyond. Now, while that's technically the end of my slides on the opportunities, there is one more that I'm not officially ready to announce at this very moment, but I will say, again, for those of you who are here, and only for those of you who are here, it's intended to work with the varsity strength training program. So it will come in the announcement that you will see in a week. It will be another 6 credit 2-term experience. I believe I have spots for about 10. I'm running it, so you can ask me questions later. But that will come in the announcement, and it will be a work integrated learning experience tied to the varsity strength training program. So this slide I did fix, and this is accurate. So my hope is to get you that email by the end of next week. That email will have all of these opportunities spelled out, all the details, a link to the application. You'll have about a month to fill out that application, so you have lots of time. There's no rush. If you have any questions about any of these experiences, I encourage you to reach out to me or any of the instructors. You'll fill out the application, you'll send it off. Instructors will notify you at the beginning of June with an offer, and then that way you can either choose to take it or not, and then that will help you in selecting courses around the work integrated learning experiences. Okay, I'm going to change gears and completely step off the stage here and hand things over to our Student Engagement Officer, Emily.
Oh, thank you so much. Such a treat to be here. I love my adoring fans. Okay, so we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna chat a little bit about ways you can get involved outside of the classroom. I know we're probably reaching our capacity, so don't worry, we'll keep it snappy. So first up, Imagine UBC. This is a really great opportunity for those of you who might be looking for a way to get your foot in the door with a leadership opportunity. If you don't have experience already, this could be your first one. It's pretty low commitment, but really high impact. So you get to be a part of welcoming new to kin students to UBC. Those are our first year students and our transfer students. Applications open up on April 11th, so coming up soon. And then we'll close on May 7th, so you have time after exams if you go right to the end. And you must be available on September 4th, which is our training day, and then the 5th, which is Imagine Day itself. It's a really big, fun day. There's like energy that is unlike anything else. I highly recommend it for any of you who maybe didn't get to go in your first year. Maybe you had an online Imagine Day. Next up is Kinesiology Alumni Office Hours. So for those of you who are thinking about exploration in your careers and what you might want to do after your undergraduate degrees. This is a monthly event with a new kinesiology alumni every session who will share their experiences and their career journey post-graduation. So you'll have a chance to really ask them any questions, talk about what it is that they learned leaving their degrees or throughout their degrees, learn about hidden jobs you didn't know existed, things you never really thought about, and then develop your network, which is just a really great way to figure out what your passions are and where you want to go. Building off of that, I'd say that's our low barrier option for chatting with some alumni and building some connections there. Our higher commitment option is the alumni mentorship program, which I highly recommend. You'll have a chance to be paired with an alumni and potentially another student for 6 months, so from October to March. You'll build relationships with kinesiology alumni and peers. You'll develop tangible networking and communication skills. There's some assignments that you need to complete throughout the year, which support with your professional development and get you actually critically and logically thinking about what do you want from this relationship and how can you leverage this effectively. You'll get to explore your career journeys of kin alumni and then prepare for what comes after graduation. Applications for this will open up in September, so you have some time to think about it. And if you have questions in the meantime, you're always welcome to email me and I can chat through what those kind of requirements and commitments look like. Lastly, the Kinesiology Peer Academic Coaching Program I want to highlight for you all. So we have hired our team for next year and they are very excited to be a support for you all. Our KPAC coaches are inclusive and knowledgeable upper year kin students who provide peer-to-peer support through one-to-one coaching conversations and the delivery of academic success workshops. So this is a really great team of folks. They're here to help you. So if you're ever feeling like your time management is not as good as it should be, or maybe your study techniques are not working like they used to work, or you're just finding that everything's feeling a bit overwhelming or things aren't working out academically the way that you might have hoped, or maybe you're just looking for another connection within kinesiology, maybe an upper year student who can kind of share some of their experiences throughout their undergraduate degrees and beyond. You can find them during their drop-in coaching hours. Usually they operate out of IKBLC for a one-on-one conversation, or you can find them at their events hosted throughout the year. Some of those events, we have one coming up this Thursday, for example, which is an adapted sport event with Dr. Jasmine Ma and Dr. Andrea Bunden over at Osborne. That's happening on Thursday from 12:30 till 2. So fun opportunities that they plan as well, just to get you some more face time with profs and to build connections and relationships in a meaningful and fun, lighthearted way. So that's, I think, everything from me. Time for a pause.
Thank you very much, Emily. The reason why we're pausing is right now what we're going to do is we're going to stop the recording. I'm looking over my assistant here. Thank you very much for listening to us ramble on for almost an hour here. And we're going to stop the recording so that we can then open up the floor for discussion because you all made the effort to show up either virtually or in person. And so I want to use what time we have available to answer any questions you might have.